community, and welcome to the new year. I am here with a new podcast today, and in case you're new here and you haven't been here before, my name is Martina. I'm 28 years old and I live in Denmark, like around the center of the big part called Jylland, and then there are the islands with Copenhagen and other cities. Like I'm in the bigger part that is connected to Germany. Yeah, and I share about my favorite craft, knitting, and all sorts of things. I don't know, I'm always trying to say what I share about, but I guess I just share from my life and my things I find important, and I try not to stress too much about showing something specific. I'm trying just to share what I feel like sharing, and yeah, and especially knitting and yarns and beautiful things that I create with my hands. I have been really enjoying these Christmas days of creating, knitting, and yeah, I'm so happy to share with you, as I wanted to share podcasts more often. That's why finally I made it. I think the last one was a month ago, maybe. Well, so as you can see, you probably saw it if you have been here before. You saw this sweater, that is what I'm wearing, but it's also a finished object. Sorry for my red cheeks. It's just so warm in here somehow. I was sitting and sewing in some ends of a little sweater, so I was like, that's so warm. But I'm wearing my Celeste Sweater by Petite Knit, and it is a few different yarns. Like up in the neck, it's like an alpaca yarn because it's more soft, and it fitted the gauge more. I didn't want it to be too airy. Like the rest is pretty, it's not that airy actually. Oh yeah, and I'm pregnant, in case you knew, you don't know. 7 months, so it's pretty big, really. Now, this yarn is up here. It's like a brand from a shop in a city called Odense called Cardigan, and that's their own brand. I don't know the name anymore of the yarn, but that's their brand. And I have these different colors, the blue and the brown, like the base color brown and the blue is from, and the dark gray is from the Faroe Islands, and it's called Sneldan yarn. And the blue is also compared with held together with some silk mohair because it was thinner than the other ones that had only 2 ply, and the rest of the yarns had 3 ply. So to fit the gauge. I love this. Oh yeah, and the red ones is also two yarns held together, a sock yarn and another yarn, Isaiah sock yarn, and the other red one is like, I don't remember the name of that. Some German yarn held together. I think that's them. And this one is also the one I use here again and again. Yeah. After blocking, it really turned out much more smooth, but it's still a little bit short in the arms, but that's just what I do somehow. But I'm really happy with how the Italian bind-off turned out, and also the cast-on. I had a lot of fun with that. And by the way, welcome from my new little corner. This is new. I have a desk finally. I kind of stole my dad's desk. Like I asked him really nicely, and he said yes, luckily. I loved it. When I was living in his apartment for a few months, I really enjoyed sitting here with this table, and it has some drawers, and my Swift fits. My Swift and the winder fits perfectly on the edge, and they didn't fit anywhere else in the apartment on the tables, except for the window. Maybe the kitchen counter, I didn't try that. But finally I have it all together here, and I have beautiful art on the wall, hand printed and hand painted, and just a lot of space to lay out the yarns and the projects, to count stitches and just overall to sit here and feel and be more creative. Like I have the light from the window and my plants around, and yeah. So I already started out with saying what I'm wearing, and I said the name also, Celeste Sweater. I had so much fun knitting this one. It's my first ever color diagram to follow. I have done color work myself, just something that I draw, and then I try to knit it, and then I practiced having the tension, and when I felt ready I was like, I can now follow a color work diagram, and it worked really well. Really well. Can't stop like touching it, so soft. Yeah, and I had a lot of fun with that. Those are finished objects. And then I have one thing that is an updated project, because it was finished. It's the Oslohat. I have I opened up until almost here, and then I re-knitted it up much more short. It was way too big, and it still looks huge, but it fits around the head. I'm so red. It has a bit better size now. I'm really proud that I did that, because that's the thing I always say, I need to do that, but if I do it, sometimes they just lay around for a long time and I don't do it. But this one I actually managed to rip it back and re-knit it, so I'm really happy about that. The yarn is an alpaca yarn from Cardigan. Two held together, one thin one instead of silk mohair. Yeah, not much more to say about that. Finally, I finished this little baby cardigan. I started it in summer, maybe in August or something, and I finished it. I actually finished this one on New Year's Eve in the evening, because I dedicated the day a little bit to finish some whips, or to work on some whips, instead of starting something new, or instead of working on a big project. So I just finished this one because it was only the button bands missing, and it's also the buttons are missing. But it has the button band in this kind of brown, pinkish, but it's like a chocolate brown. It's the name of the color. And it's the Ankers jacket by Petite Knit. I think it's really cute. I have knitted sweaters with that, like this Anker sweaters many times, and now it's the first jacket. I have this yarn left. I held it double. It's this knit by Multrup. A Danish yarn. And it's a 50% baby camel and 50% silk. And it was 100 gram and 400 meters each skein. And the name is Chocolate. Kind of don't remember if I had two, but it must have been two skeins, because there's two. And otherwise it would probably not have been enough. But this would be enough for another beanie or something. We'll see, maybe it comes into another project. Yeah, so I just need to find some buttons. I have a little tin with buttons that I collected over the years, and I'll see if I can find some that fits the size. Yeah, really happy that I finally finished it, because it was kind of bothering me that I didn't finish it. And I always used the needles for other projects in between, but then I finally finished it. Yes. And last but not least is also one of the projects that I dedicated my 31st of December to, in the daytime, because we made some really easy dinner. Like, I had some frozen chicken filling for these, you buy these doughy cups and bake them, and then you put this filling inside when it's warm and you eat it like that. It's really yummy. Called tarteletter in Danish, and I don't know if that's a thing anywhere else. In Germany you know it too, but I had that filling in the freezer from last time. I actually cooked it by myself, first time. I don't have much experience with meat, but that I cooked and froze it, and we heated it up, and that was our dinner. And we had alcohol-free wine that I had bought on sale, organic, and so I could have a lot of time for knitting all day. And yeah, I chose to work on that little baby sweater and on some pair of socks that I will show later, and then this one and another hat. I casted on a new hat also. So I actually finished it. So today is the 2nd of January, and so I had started on doing the whole top part and the raglan stitches and the neckband, and separated 2 sleeves. And then I started on the sleeves on the 31, like on the New Year's Eve. And I finished one sleeve yesterday, and I finished another sleeve today, and everything's done. And it's also very short, so it's not so much work. But this is such a cool, I love these colors that I came up with. This is the pattern Kumulus blue blouse, like Petite Knits. Like that's what I started with, and I mean that's the whole thing I followed, except for just shortening the body and adding some colors. And it's really drapey, like it's really bouncy, and I really love it. I don't know if you saw my last podcast. I think I've talked about making a short brown sweater. I started on one, but that one is, we don't talk about it, but something, it's not gonna turn out into anything anymore. I will frock it. But I started on this one instead, and it's also like more summer yarn, so it's like a linen and cotton yarn. The green cotton linen from Cardigan. Yeah, and it's 85% organic cotton and 15% linen, 50 gram and 185 meters. And I held it double. That's the brown. And this one, the blue one, is the boummelin from Ozetta. And this one is a cotton merino yarn from, it's the cotton and merino from Knitting for Olive, this one. If you follow this channel longer, you might know that I've used it 3 times and always ripped it back up. But now it's finally in something that it will stay. And I love these little I-cord edges everywhere around, also here. And it's a perfect breastfeed and nursing kind of thing. When I'm wearing it, my breasts just sticking out, so it's perfectly. I'll of course wear something else, like a top or something, but then I can wear it and I can be warm on my arms. Not too warm because it's plant mixed with animal fiber, and I will be warm on top, and then the baby will probably warm my body when I'm having it in this baby wearing kind of thing system. So that was my idea, to have a top sleeve thing. I'm really happy with this one. I really love this one. I think this combination of these colors is just my taste, and it just fits my skin tone, maybe my body type, I don't know. I think it fits as well. And I'm really liking stripes lately, so it fits my, it's just perfect. And I just finished sewing in the ends just about now, just before filming. So that's a really lovely finished object. And I have a lot of, that's the Ozetta thin yarn that I held double also for the blue color, and I'm thinking of making a top with it, with this, and with the rest of the Knitting for Olive. I have a lot of that too. I think that could be really nice to have a top that sticks up here and has the same colors as the long sleeve one. We'll see. That was it with the finished objects. let's go on to next category of whips. And I will try to take the newest first, because I was talking about New Year's Eve, my New Year's Eve knitting, and I also casted on something new because it was like my my treat. Like it's also a treat to work on old whips, but it was like to treat myself for working on old whips. I also allow myself to cast on a new thing. Sometimes there has to be some boundaries, otherwise it can take over. So the blue that is here, that I held together with some silk mohair, is this yarn that is left from after the sweater, because I didn't use much. And I have another skein, and I have more of the silk. I could cake it up more if I need more. I don't know how much I need for this. But this is the Mr. Beanie by Spektakelstrik. Just cast it on. It's like a ribbing, kind of, just a 1x1 ribbing. Very, very simple, but it looks really cool, and it's on needle size 3.5. And with this thick yarn, I think it will look really chunky. It was intended for a friend as a delayed Christmas present, but I might also just keep it for myself because it matches the sweater. And the yarn, so the blue yarn was Snelldon, that Faroe Island yarn. And second newest cast on, having this beautiful yarn ball. And you can see it's a yarn ball because like I bought it secondhand, but it's like really used up on the edges, like you can see where all the yarn. That's what I think at least. And it has two different yarns. It's the same two that I used for the last Oslo, and this is also an Oslohat in a smaller size than last time. Another color. Maybe it's actually even not from me, this color. There's something about this color that always, when I always buy it. We'll see. But it's really fun to knit on this. It's really easy. The only thing that is a little bit stressful is when you knit the front and the back together before you start knitting. Like when you fold this folded band, you have to knit it together. It's a little bit tough. You need some concentration, I think. But now it's just straight up and some increases, and then it's done. And I'm using this alpaca yarn, alpaca 400. That's such a romantic name. Instead of silk mohair. Also from Cardigan is this Jade alpaca. Very, very, very soft and very affordable. It's this shop. They have all these Cardigan things. 50 gram and 167 meters. It's really soft. I really love it. And so two of those, and one of the really long thin one that is like 400 meters. Just another great work in progress that I'm enjoying a lot, that I can just bring with me. And then before the last whip, I have this sock, finish one sock. I don't know if that counts to the finished objects then, maybe. But I feel like it's first done when it has a second pair. And this is a really weird color combination. It's from, I think Filcolana was a brand, and it's like a self-striping yarn in the color Macchiato. And I did a little Italian cast on to have it a little bit more stretchy. Oh, and the pattern is Sunday socks by Petite Knit. I just changed to have a few rows of 1x1 ribbing up here before starting the 2x2 ribbing. It's a really weird, fun kind of colors. I don't really know what I think about it. But I need some socks, and I didn't want to knit these thin ones again. And here's the second one. I just split for heel. And I really, really succeeded on fanning the same spot. That is not always easy. figured it out. And that's also almost done. I worked on that also the other day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. But there's so much left, so I think I could make another pair for a child or something else, but I think it's a lot because I have size 40, like it's big feet I have, but there's a lot left. Okay, so last whip for today. It's good because we need time for the yarn because I have a lot of yarn. New yarn. So this yarn, I started saying the yarn, it's Jeltholz Uldspænderi. This you might know from my Vlogmas too. Danish yarn, 200 meters and 100 gram each skein. And I have like 3 skeins, I think. Yeah, I have 3. I used one. This is number 2. And then there's one more over there. And I cast it on the Traveler's Cardigan. A really sweet follower of mine recommended me to use Ozetta's patterns because she works with button bands in the one piece, like, and then I think she's going to knit on the color later on. But we knit the button band in one because I've been complaining that I hate to knit with button bands. As you could see with the baby cardigan, I didn't do it for a long time. So this woman recommended me to use Ozetta's pattern, and I did. So I cast it on the Traveler's Cardigan. Did have my troubles with it. Somehow I couldn't count right and there was something going wrong. I don't want to talk too much about that because somehow I made it work and I think it was my mistake, but I can't still understand in the pattern what I did wrong because both sides is not described. They're not described finished. I think like one side is like knit more rows, and then when the other one she finished it before instead of finishing with more rows. I don't know. I gave up and I thought I'd just use my intuition. Here, how to show it. Okay, so looks like also the one sleeve, only sleeve sweater without the body, but it's just to be sure that I have all yarn enough. So I'm doing the arms first. I'm doing increases even though she's not doing. I'm doing decreases because otherwise it would be too wide. She just does a wide arm. I don't like that. It's the only thing I changed, I think. And then here's the button band, and you use like another needle size for the button band. It's kind of cool. And yeah, not easy to show, but that's a cardigan. So I'm going to do both arms first before I do the body, so I'm sure that I won't run out of yarn. That was it. Now, quickly get on to new yarn, and I'll just do what I bought first. I want to knit some slippers. I bought this also from Cardigan, Inca wool. It's just 100% Highland wool, really thick. 100 gram and 160 meters. I have 2 skeins and I'm going to knit some slippers that I can felt. So I'll knit some huge slippers and then put them in the washing machine and they will turn into smaller, these felted ones. Because it's so cold here. And at the same time, when I bought that, I also bought that brown yarn for the Oslohat. And then I bought these 2 yarns that I want to combine to make. Oh yeah, so the name of the cardigan is the Levitate Wrap by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And I want to do with these 2 together. That's my idea. I don't know. I'm doubting a little bit if it looks nice, but I saw on Instagram another woman who did this kind of combined dark and light. So it was a really nice color. And I really need more things that are open for breastfeeding, because yeah, so I'm going to make this wrap cardigan. So I have a lot of these and these. This is the same as before, this alpaca 400. It's just because I'm starting to use this instead of silk mohair, because it's more, I can more afford it, like it's cheaper, it's more affordable, and because it has a lot of meters in one skein, and it's cheaper than one skein of silk mohair. So there you have it. And then the other one is Peru wool from Colorwork. So it's this. It feels like a January project. And then I was just in Germany visiting my mom and friends, and in the city I bought also some new yarns. BC yarn I found. This really beautiful gold green, like khaki gold. And it's 100% mulberry silk from BC yarn. I think it's also one of the yarns that Martina from We Grow Wild used in her mini-series about sustainable silk, or cruelty-free silk. I think this is the one she used, but I'm not sure. But she's talked about BC yarn a lot, and it's Danish. I didn't even know. And I found it, and it's really pricey and really fine, and could also be together with this. Could be really cool combination. Really love it. It's really, really beautiful and really, really soft. Oh, and 50 gram and 300 meters, so could be combined with something. And this, if you have followed like longer and you've seen my videos, you have maybe seen this one before. I bought it last year, same time, the same skein. I knitted the top, but Jessie made a design that was too loose. The one with the neck, I don't really know, I'm gonna put the name. But I knitted that and it was too big, and I gave it to a friend. And I really loved the color and I really loved it, working with it, that I bought it again. And this is Malabrigo. It's a sock yarn, ultimate sock. 385 meters and 100 gram. And it's, I think, yeah, it's merino superwash, 75 and 25% nylon. So not perfect for a top, but it was really good because it just sits really well, really elastic. So, and the color is Frank Ochre. Yeah. And I also bought these cables for my set. I have this Lykke knitting set, and I needed some more of the cables because I always use them in so many projects. And these are a little bit shorter. And they're pink. Kind of good. Next up is a bigger something, like it's a whole box of yarn that I got from my dear friend Martina from We Grow Wild, because I participated in her knit along called, make along called Scrap Me Good Mel make along, and I won. I can't even believe it. I never won. I feel like I never won anything like those, kind of like winning and getting a prize. So I'm really excited, and the prize was not this big. She added some things because she's wonderful. And yeah, I'm really happy about it. I just picked up the package today and traveled all the way from Italy to Denmark. I think it's kind of amazing. And in the I think, I don't even remember quite, but I think these two were the ones that I won. They were in the prize. They are from Santa Cruz, organic merino. This brand is called Juniper Moon Farm. Finest organic merino, humanly raised in Argentina. And beautiful. 100 gram and 175 meters, 100% wool. Look at these colors. So they're two, kind of like a DK yarn, DK way yarn. Perfect. doesn't end here. She put a lot of yarns more into the box, and it makes me so happy. And I think, yeah, she's been talking about these brands, like Nina from a Crafter's Tale podcast. She bought these, or I don't know if she got them, but she did send me this from, and it's 100 gram and about 300 meters, and it's dyed with yarn, now with indigo, that she grew in her own garden, and I think that's amazing. And it's really, really soft. Scratchy, but soft. Like, I can really imagine making something with this. I mean, you can always make hats, but there's a boundary of hats, but I love blue. And I can't believe it, I can't believe it. And also, this one is a Tibetan Cloud by Myak. She talked about Myak, and she sent me some of that. This is 100% non-superwash merino, and this is really soft. 100 gram and also 300 meters. I don't know if that's, from Myak. Thank you, Martina. Thank you so much. It makes me so warm inside, and maybe that's why I'm blushing today so much. I came home from the post office and from shopping, and I just ripped this package open. Ah yeah, and also this is also from Myak. Baby yak and organic cotton together. And this would be perfect for a little baby jacket or cardigan or something, or hat. This is mini skein. This is my first mini skein. I've never had a mini skein. Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm really happy. Yeah, it's like 25 grams and 116 meters. It's actually a long meter, like almost as many meters as on a 50 gram skein. It's beautiful. It's so soft. Look at these colors. We're still not done. She gave me these two Flirtaloppi's unspun yarn from Lopi. I have worked with this before. I have like 2 different blues, and this is a dark blue, I think. Also right, my color. She knows me. And it's unspun, as I said, 100% wool, 100 grams, 300 meters each skein. I think it will almost be enough to held together with something else to be a vest. And I have plans on making a vest from Rosa Pomar. I bought the pattern. It's called Burgo vest by Rosa Pomar, who is in Portugal. And I think maybe I could use this held together with a strand of another yarn. It might be enough. I'll have to check the gauge and check the amount of yarn you need for the pattern. And a little note. And last yarn is this Holstgarn. I thought actually it's from Cardigan, but they have the same kind of thing. It's from Denmark, so it came back to where it came from. Super soft graphite is the color. 100% wool, and it's 50 gram and 287 meters. 2 skeins. Really cool. It's not that soft as it says. It says super soft, but it's pretty. I think for people who would be really sensitive, it's not soft. But I'm not so sensitive. Like, I'm sensitive, but I'm not sensitive to scratchy yarns. I was raised with scratchy yarns on my body. And Martina, you are an angel sent to this earth. Wonderful, 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 wonderful human. And yeah, I'm so happy to have this friendship to you and to know, and you're the reason that I started with YouTube, and just so inspired. And she sent me also a handmade soap with her own label on. And I mean, you're probably on my channel because you found me through her, because we did a knit along together. Maybe, or maybe you even found me and you don't know her yet. If you don't know her yet, please go and check out her channel. She shares so much about knitting, but also about so much more. She does recipes, and she loves to go to the forest and forage a lot of edible plants and flowers and fruits and whatever. And she has just embarked on a new journey with her partner and the dogs, and their 2 dogs, on renovating a off-grid home in Italy, and that home looks amazing. I mean, when I look at her nature she has around where she lives, I feel poor because we have a few trees, and I'm already happy with that, but she has a beautiful landscape and she lives in paradise. So she's a huge inspiration for me. You are a huge inspiration to me, Martina. Thank you so much for all these gifts. And this soap is made with coffee. It's like a coffee flavored, coffee smell. Handmade soap with coffee by me, by her. I feel so blessed. So yeah, I'm living in abundance. I feel like I'm overflowing with all these lovely yarns, and I feel very, very grateful to be able to buy yarns for myself, but also that it comes back to me. Like, I want some and she gave me some. I feel like it's an amazing community. And yarn is, I don't know what it is. If you're not a knitter, you wouldn't understand, and I guess all of you who are mostly knitters or other kinds of makers, you understand the joy of buying fabrics and wool and yarn for your projects, and also like seeing how beautiful it is. Like it's a piece of art. It came from someone's hands. Like if I could, I would only buy these handmade, but I'm now doing a mix of handmade and machine spun. But I mean, it's a piece of art. And thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I didn't ramble on for too long. I always try to keep it short, but you know, there's many things to say about yarn, about projects. But yeah, please, if you liked it, you can leave a little comment or thumbs up or both. Really help my channel a lot. And keep in mind that I am grateful to each and every one of you so much. Like, there's so much love for this community. I didn't know what I was expecting when I started filming back last year, but it carried fruit. And thank you so much, as I said already, for being here. See you in the next video. Bye.